When changing the oil on your Indian Chief or Chieftain, the first step will be to start the motorcycle and bring it to an operating temperature. Once the vehicle is at an operating temperature, the next step will be to remove both oil drain plugs, the storage plug and the scavenge plug. It is preferred that the vehicle is in an upright position, but if doing this in your garage, it's acceptable to be on the kickstand. After loosening your drain plug screws, I'll slide my pan over and complete removal of the drain plug. Before reinstalling your drain plugs, you'll want to remove your old crush washers and install the new ones included with your oil change kit. After draining the engine oil from the engine drain plugs, your next step will be to remove the oil filter located on the front of the engine. To do that, I'll use the recommended oil filter removal tool. Before installing your new oil filter, you'll want to lightly lubricate the O-ring seal on the oil filter using new engine oil. After lubricating the seal on the oil filter, I can install it until lightly seated and then turn it 3/4 to a full turn. After draining your engine oil and removing your engine oil filter, the next step will be to properly dispose of the engine oil and engine oil filter. After replacing your drain plugs, replacing your oil filter, and properly disposing of your oil, the next step will be to remove the dipstick using your dipstick removal tool included in your toolkit. Using a funnel, you'll install 4.5 quarts of the Indian motorcycle oil. Your Indian motorcycle takes 5.5 quarts after an oil change. You'll only be able to initially install 4.5 quarts. After installing your first 4.5 quarts, I'll remove the funnel and reinstall the dipstick. After reinstalling the dipstick, you'll want to run the engine at up to 2,500 RPM for 3 minutes. After running the engine for 3 minutes, the next step will be to remove the dipstick and install your last quart of oil. After your last quart of oil installed, you can remove the funnel, install your dipstick, and you'll run the engine for 1 to 2 minutes. After running the engine for 1 to 2 minutes, with the bike in an upright or vertical position, you'll remove your dipstick, wipe it off, and reinstall it until it's fully seated. I can again remove the dipstick, and at this point, I can check the level. The oil level should be in the safe zone between the add and the full mark. If the oil level is anywhere between there, it is an acceptable level. The last step will be to reinstall and tighten your dipstick. You can also start the engine and verify the oil pressure light goes out. Whenever changing the oil on your Indian Chief or Chieftain, it is recommended you use the Indian Motorcycle Oil Change Kit, part number 2880067. The kit contains 5.5 quarts of oil, an oil filter, and 2 new crush rings for your drain plugs.